Travel with Dave. I'm going to give you a piece of dating advice. I have gone on dates where women would bring a friend. I've probably done it 10 or 15 times. I'm going to tell you, every time it was a complete disaster. The reason why is because the woman that's going on the date just talks to her friend, and that's it. And the funny part is they will joke around with their friends. They won't tell me a joke. I'll say something and they'll say a joke to their friend like they're making fun of me. I don't know what. But again and again and again, every time I double dated, every time I went on a date and the girl brought a friend, they would not talk to me. They end up looking bad. They look like they're incompetent. They usually gave me attention, but they wouldn't talk to me. They wanted to talk to their friend. In some cases, they bring somebody and they don't tell you. I've got a lot of stories where, like the woman at the McDonald's who came an hour late, it was actually ended up being half an hour late. She brought her friend, and I was like, I saw the woman come in. I said, I know that my date brought that woman. She's behaving really strange, and she's also very beautiful. She made a really bad move. I was like, I should be dating that woman. Oh my God, that's what I should have done. She was hiding from me. I should have gone up to her friend, say, hi, I'm Dave. I have a date with you. Her friend was so beautiful. Um, there was another one, the girl with the $900 cell phone. She brought someone also. She didn't tell me. But when you get up and go home, she's okay, let's go. And you see the guy at the next table get up and go home. The last date I went on, the woman brought her son, who's like 18 years old. He probably rode the motorcycle and she was a passenger. That happens sometimes. They bring their son. I can understand. There was a girl who was so beautiful. It was a wonderful date. She brought her cousin. Her cousin can't speak. So she had to say it to the date that I was on, and she had to tell me what her cousin said. She could obviously hear, but she had a problem speaking. And, but you know what? She wanted me to go on a date with her mom, and my attitude was, listen, your mom's got to be like 40 years old, 50 years old, however old she is. This girl was in her 20s. Your mom has to come over here and do it proper. I'm not going to her house and she's going to sit down and ignore me. She has to come over here and say hello to me and be nice to me. They won't do it. She got angry about it. So then the other girl, the girl who can't speak, her mom, she's the one who's like angry in every photo. And I said, why would you put a photo of yourself angry? She said, well, you don't understand how I felt when that photo was taken. I know how you felt when you put the photo on the internet. All of my photos, I'm smiling, except for photos that I sell for photography purposes, which people buy. The fat lonely guy. And I would like to thank anyone who's been buying pictures of me and using it in your feature films or whatever, or your advertisements. There was an interesting date that I had with two women where the woman said, who's your favorite comedian? And I said, Brian Regan. This was like 2003 or something like that. And she said, oh, he's my favorite comedian. I really like him. I go to all of his shows. I mean, all of his shows. Syracuse, Rome, Rochester, Buffalo, Albany, Binghamton. And she went with her friend. The two of them went. She said that after one of the shows, Brian Regan came up to her and said, are you stalking me? She said, I just got to ask. Because she had been to like 5 shows in a row. And he was single at the time, of course. Checking my time. So if a woman says, can I bring a friend or can I bring a chaperone? You tell her, you're an adult. You need to come on your own. You need to show up on time, say hello, be polite. If I buy you dinner, you should say thank you and you should have a nice conversation with me. You should ask me questions about myself and you should tell me about yourself and you should be happy. I sent that to someone and she said, absolutely not. This was a woman who was an hour late and she lived 15 minutes away. That's the story that I tell. And I said, I'm not going to date you because you don't respect me. And you know what she said to me? Oh, we're dating. I was like they're crazy people. They're crazy. They cannot admit that they're wrong in the Philippines. I know women in general, but in the Philippines, it's like they will lie about anything. This is 1 peso. If you happen to buy something and they give you it as change, the 1 peso, this is worth 2 cents, and they put it on the table, the chance that your date will pick it up and put it in her pocket is really high. She won't say, oh, do you mind if I take it? I'm always giving coins to my dates. Say, here, I'm going to give you some coins. I don't need them. You can use it to pay for the bus. They just take it. The last time I did a double date was a young woman, and she was the one that she was telling jokes to her friend. Friend didn't talk to me, or maybe she did and just said one word. I had a girlfriend I dated for 6 months. Her friend came along every date. In the Philippines, you save money by sharing a bed with a stranger. That's who the woman was. She rented a room with like 6 other girls that had 3 beds. She shared the bed with another girl who she didn't know, and they become friends. And every time we went out, she tagged along, and always on the date, they just chatted with each other. And this was the one where I said, I dated her for 6 months, and all I know is she has a sister in Bohol, and she works in real estate. So after 6 months, it's all I knew about her. I was like, I'm not going to do this anymore. When she came back from a trip, she said hi to me. I said hi back, and then I never heard from her again. That's the way they are. They make zero effort. They are the laziest people I've ever met. Severe social anxiety. There was one woman that couldn't hear. She wore a hearing aid. She was a nice woman, and I wish I had dated her. But the problem was I just could not understand anything she said because her hearing problem must have been since birth. So she had trouble speaking. She could speak, but if there's other people speaking in the room, you're not going to understand anything because it's words speaking on top of words. And she's far enough away, small table. She could be 3 feet away, and I could not understand. It was very difficult to understand her. And I said, you know what? I just can't do this. There was a girl who had one leg. There was a girl who couldn't walk. She had a problem walking. So when she walked as though she had a sprained ankle. She had to walk like this. She lunged when she walked. And she would play games. She was the one who refused to sit at the table with me. She would stand across the street and watch me through the window while I ate lunch before the date. And if I went out and grabbed her and said, come on inside, if I brought her inside, she would just go back outside. She refused to be seen sitting at the table, and she canceled half of our dates. All of them did. Even the ones that I liked, they were constantly canceling dates. Always had excuses. Almost always, our emergency business meeting. Oh, you had an emergency business meeting for your job selling lotto tickets or whatever. So my advice, do not date women who bring somebody along because they're lazy. They won't try. They are fearful. They're not going to like you. They're going to be difficult.